Israel will carry out an offensive against Hamas in Rafah. Now, whether or not the ceasefire deal is reached or not. Let's talk to Mohamed Taha from BBC Arabic, who is with me now. What are the chances, do you think, that Hamas will agree to this deal, given what we've just heard from Benjamin Netanyahu? Because there was some hope that a ceasefire would mean that they would halt their plans for an invasion of Rafah.
It looks that there are different routes. The war route is a route that both parties are pressing on at the moment. We saw that trap in Al-Maghraqa a few hours ago, where the Hamas managed to kill 2 Israeli soldiers. We saw the response from the Israelis, where they bombed Al-Maghraqa and 47 Palestinians died and more than 60 injured. And the Benjamin Netanyahu statement that he is going to Rafah anyway. So this is the route. The route of negotiations is going in Cairo. The Israelis said they are not going to send any delegation to Cairo anymore, and they are waiting for a written response from Hamas. This written response is open. We don't know how Hamas would respond so far, but there is kind of optimism that this response might be positive.
So there's that optimism, but is there concern right across the region that this might only be for 40 days, that we might see a cessation of some kind of hostilities, but if the Rafah offensive goes ahead, we get to the end of 40 days and then the IDF starts up their full operation again? Is that the concern?
Yeah, indeed. This is the vision from the beginning of the war. Israel believed so much that only war would bring back the hostages, only war would make Hamas weaker, and the whole region and the many parts in the world, including the United States and the United Kingdom, believe that negotiations is the only way to bring the hostages back and to try to make Hamas less threat to Israel security. And this is what in the table at the moment. What is in the table that, as you said, 40 days of pause in fighting. During that, Israel would allow some refugees to return back to their homes, and 33 hostages would be exchanged with tens of Palestinian prisoners. And on the other hand, there are the long-run negotiations around the Palestinian state and also on disarming Hamas.
Because that bigger question, we always reach that stumbling block whenever I talk to people, that the Israelis will never accept a full withdrawal of their troops from Gaza. They will never accept that Hamas will remain in power. Meanwhile, Hamas are saying we want a permanent end. That just no one seems to have an idea about how that can be overcome.
But we saw some flexibility from Hamas in the recent days. They are talking about that they are happy to be disarmed in case that negotiations towards a Palestinian state would start. And also the leadership of Hamas considered moving from Gaza to Jordan in case of Palestinian state would be in the perspective. So there is that flexibility from Hamas, but still Israel really want the war to carry on. And unless the Israeli government and especially the right-wing part of this government would show some flexibility, yes, this situation would stay hard for the Gazan people and for the families of the hostages in Israel.
Mohamed, thank you so much. We'll keep across the Hamas response, which we expect in the next few days. Would that be?
Of course, yeah.
Thank you. Around the world and across the UK, this is BBC News.